in motion along a straight line will always be in motion along the same straight line with the same speed until and unless we apply some external force to stop it or to change its direction, sorry, to change its speed. Third one is inertia of direction. Inertia of direction states that any object or any moving object cannot change its direction by itself, which means if there is an object which is moving on a straight path and you want to turn it or you want to change its direction of motion, then you have to apply some external force. This is known as inertia of motion. Third point is, what is the measurement of inertia? How could you decide which body have more inertia and which less inertia? So what is the measurement factor for inertia? Could anyone tell me? How do you measure the inertia of any object? Yes? Anyone? Inertia of any object can be measured in terms of mass of the object. Greater the mass of the object, greater will be its inertia. So if we have two objects with different masses, let's say we have two balls with mass 500 gram and 1 kg. Which ball will be hard to start in motion? Yes?
1 kg.
1 kg. And why is it so? Because greater the mass of the body, greater will be inertia of the body. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Next point is Newton's second law of motion. To understand Newton's second law of motion, first of all, we need to understand linear momentum or concept of linear momentum. What is linear momentum? So linear momentum can be defined in a mathematical way as well as in a physical sense. So first of all, let's look at the mathematical definition of linear momentum. Linear momentum of a body or linear momentum of a moving object is given by the product of mass and velocity of the object. So linear momentum P is equals to m into v, where m is mass of the body and v is velocity of the body. Mass is scalar quantity, but velocity is vector quantity. So vector multiplied with a scalar will give a scalar quantity, which implies that linear momentum P is a vector quantity. So linear momentum P is a vector quantity, means it will have both magnitude as well as direction. So if you want to find out the magnitude of linear momentum, this will be P is equals to m into v. P is equals to m into v. This is the magnitude of the linear momentum of the body. And if you are looking for direction, what will be the direction of linear momentum? Yes, what will be the direction of linear momentum? Direction of linear momentum will be the direction of velocity of the object. If there is an object with mass m kg and this object is moving in north direction, then the direction of velocity is north. So what will be the direction of linear momentum? It will also be north. Understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next point is how could we understand the concept of linear momentum in physical sense? Linear momentum is a physical quantity which is used to measure the quantity of motion or to quantify motion of an object. To quantify the motion of an object, we use the concept of linear momentum because motion of an object depends on both the factors, mass of the body as well as speed of the body. So mass times speed is a factor which can quantify the motion of a object or motion of an object. So this quantity is known as linear momentum P. What will be the SI unit of linear momentum P? Since linear momentum P is the product of mass times velocity, SI unit of mass is kg and SI unit of velocity is meter per second. So unit or SI unit for linear momentum will be kg meter per second. Understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next point is Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion gives us the definition of force. So there may be a question like this: which of the following laws of Newton or Newton's laws give the concept of force or give the definition of force? So we have three different laws given by Newton, and out of these three, second law of motion is the law which gives us the concept of force or definition of force. So according to Newton's second law of motion, the external agency or external force acting on a body is directly proportional to rate of change of linear momentum of the body. So F external is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum that can be given by dp by dt. If you will remove the proportionality sign, you will have some constant k times dp by dt times dp by dt. And from experiment, it is proved that the value of k will be 1 unit. If the value of k is 1, then we can clearly state that force F can be given as dp by dt. Yes or no? Can be given as dp by dt. Now linear momentum P is m times v. So if you will look at a different form of force F, it will look like F is equals to d by dt of P. That is linear momentum. So you can write it as d by dt of m into v. Now, if you will look at the derivative of P, time derivative of P, it has two factors, mass and velocity, which implies that force affects both mass as well as velocity. If mass of the system is changing, then there has to be some external force. And if velocity of the object is changing, then again there has to be some external force. If you will look at a special case of this concept, in which we state that, let's say, mass of the system is constant, mass is not changing with respect to time, mass is fixed. In that case, if mass is constant, mass can be taken out of the derivative. So you can write it as m times d by dt of velocity v. M times d by dt of velocity v, which implies that mass of the system is constant. It is not changing with respect to time. So we have only one factor which will be changing with respect to time, that is velocity. Because if there is no change in mass and there is no change in velocity, it implies that linear momentum P will be constant, that is m into v will be constant, and derivative of any constant will be 0, which implies that F will be 0. So it clearly states that either m or v has to be changed. Only then there will be some external force on the system. Now, if velocity is changing with respect to time, we can say that the system is accelerated or the body is moving with accelerated velocities. So from there we get the formula F is equals to m into dv by dt, and dv by dt is nothing but mass times acceleration. So from this discussion you must understood that F is equals to m into a is not the complete picture of Newton's second law. F equals to ma is just a simple case of Newton's second law, or the simplest or the easiest way to understand the concept of force, in which mass is taken to be constant, but it is not always the case. There are certain cases in which mass of the system will be continuously changing with respect to time, and in that case you cannot apply the formula F equals to m into a. For example, let's say there is a truck full of sand, and as the truck is moving on the road, the sand particles are dripping out of the truck, due to which mass of the truck system will be continuously changing, and in that case force will be due to both the factors, changing mass of the system as well as changing velocity of the system. Understood or any doubt?
Understood.
Okay. Next point, we have Newton's third law of motion, which states that every action has equal and opposite reaction in nature. Some authors state it as any force in nature cannot be isolated, which implies that forces in nature always exist in pairs. Forces in nature always exist in pairs. Doesn't matter which type of force you are taking into account, but if there is a force, then there has to be its pair also in the nature. Another way, or the more precise way to state Newton's third law of motion is that if we have two body A and body B, and body A applies some force on body B, then body B will also apply the exactly amount of force on body A, but there will be a difference, and that difference will be in terms of direction. If body A apply a force of 5 Newton on body B in north direction, then body B will apply a force of magnitude 5 unit or 5 Newton, but in opposite direction. So what do you think? What should be the direction? If body A apply a force of 5 Newton on body B in north direction, then in which direction body B will apply the force at body A?
Now,
South direction. And what should be the magnitude?
same magnitude.
Same magnitude, that is 5 units.
Yes.
Another point about Newton's third law of motion, which is most confusing for the students, is that sometimes it is misunderstood that action reaction are consequences of each other, which means some student can interpret this statement in this way, that when body A applies some force on body B, then body B applies some force on body A, which means the force of body A is action and the force of body B is reaction, which means action has consequences. But this is not the case in this situation. If body A is applying some force on body B, then exactly at the same instant of time, body B will also apply the force on body A. So there is nothing like action and reaction. Means I want to say that there is nothing like consequences concept, like F1 has some consequences, and first body A will apply the force and then body B apply the force. Then word is not the correct. The correct will be what? If body A is applying some force at body B, then at the same instant of time, body B will apply the same magnitude of force in opposite direction to body A. So in vector form, we write it as FAB is equals to minus FBA, which implies that force on body B due to body A is same in magnitude but opposite in direction. Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next point is When you are going to apply this concept F equals to M into A, in this concept, this force F is just not a single force. It may be a cluster of forces or a group of forces acting on an object. Let's say there is an object and there are different forces in different direction acting on it. Let's say this is F1, this is F2, this is F3, this is F4. So net force will be summation of all the forces. And by summation means vector sum. We have to take care of direction also. So when you are going to apply the formula F equals to M into A or F equals to dP by dt, it is not just a single force. It may be a single force, but it may also be a group of forces or a resultant force due to different forces on the same object. So you have to be careful about F. Another point is that in a system, there may be two types of forces. One is external force and another one is internal force. In such cases, remember that internal forces are not responsible for the motion of the bodies. Or when you are going to apply F equals to MA, then this concept will not be valid for the internal forces of the system. This formula is valid for only and only external forces on the system. And to understand the meaning of internal force and external force, let's take an example of a bus. There is a bus which is at rest and we want to just push it. So there are two different ways to do so. First one is you can push the bus from outside of the bus, right? And another is you can push the bus by going inside the bus. So what do you think? Which way will be better to push a bus to make it in move?
Push
Yes,
it from
First
outside.
one.
outward definitely. Is it possible that we have 10 people inside the bus and we try to push it and it will come into the motion?
No.
No, sir.
No, it's not possible. Why is it so? Because when these 10 people will be inside the bus, then these 10 people will apply forces. These forces will be internal forces of the system. And no amount of internal force can produce the motion into the system or into the body. It doesn't matter how much large or small force you are applying inside the system. It is never going to work. So F equals to MA will be valid if and only if there are external forces on the system. Understood?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next point is do you have this PDF? Yes. Next point is about law of conservation of linear momentum. It is not given in the book, but it is very important concept in Newton's laws of motion or in mechanics. Law of conservation of linear momentum. Could anyone state what is law of conservation of linear momentum?
The total
Anyone?
momentum is conserved.
Is total momentum always conserved? Or there are certain conditions in which it will be possible? Yes. Law of conservation of linear momentum states that for an isolated system, total linear momentum of the system will be conserved or will be constant. In other words, it implies that if there is no external force in the system, or there is no external force on the system, in that case, linear momentum of the system will be constant, or there will be no change in the linear momentum of the system. In other words, it again implies that an object or a system cannot change its velocity by itself. Why is it so? Because we have F equals to dp by dt. You can write it as d by dt of p d by dt of p is equals to F external. Right? And now if F external is 0, if F external is 0, in that case, dp by dt will be 0. That is d by dt of p will be 0. What does it mean? D by dt of p is 0. In mathematics, which quantity will have derivative 0? Yes. Which quantity will have derivative 0?
Constant one.
Constant. All the constant quantities will have its derivative as 0. So if derivative of linear momentum p is 0, it clearly states that p has to be a constant value, which implies that linear momentum p, which is given by m into v, which is given by m into v, will be a constant value. Will be a constant value. And linear momentum p is equals to constant implies that linear momentum p equals to constant implies that there will be no change in mass of the system and there will be no change in velocity of the system, which again implies that without external force, any object cannot change its direction, cannot change its magnitude of velocity by itself. There has to be some external force to change the direction of the body as well as to change the magnitude of the velocity of body. Understood? Okay, next point is motion of a man in a lift. Lift. Let's say there is a lift. There is a person inside the lift, and let's say lift is going upward with acceleration A. Gravity G is working downward, and in this case there will be weight mg of the body downward and reaction force of the floor upward. If the person is going upward, then reaction force R has to be greater than mg. So R minus mg will be equals to m into A, which means reaction force will be mg plus m into A, and reaction force R will be m times g plus A, which implies that when there is a person in a lift and the lift is going upward with certain acceleration A, in that case there will be heaviness in the body of the person, or a person can feel little more weight than usual weight of the person. So there will be a greater reading if you will notice the reading in digital weight machine. Second case is if the lift is going downward with certain acceleration, G is also working downward. This time this will be mg, reaction force will be upward. So in this case mg has to be greater than R, and mg minus R will be equals to m into A. So R will be mg minus ma. R is equals to m into g minus A, which implies that reaction force in this case will be less from the usual reaction force, and due to which the reading in the weight machine will be less. Or in other words, a person which is coming through a lift and the lift is moving downward with acceleration A, he will feel lightness in the body, or he will feel light. Third case is if let's say acceleration of the lift is same as g. If A is g, and when it will be possible, A is equals to g will be possible if the string of the lift due to some reason is broken. In that case it will be a free fall case. And in this free fall case A will be equals to g, so R will be m into g minus g. R will be equals to 0, which means there will be no reading in the weight machine. Fourth case is let's say acceleration of the body is greater than g when it is coming downward. In that case, if you will look at the equation, R equals to m into g minus a, and if a is greater than g, then obviously R will be less than 0. R will be less than 0. R will be less than 0 implies that you can also imagine it by yourself. If acceleration A of the lift is greater than acceleration due to gravity g, in that case lift will come at a faster rate downward direction as compared to the person in the lift, because on the person g is working, and on lift we are applying some external force F, due to which A is working and A is greater than g. In that case the head of the person will strike to the roof of the lift, means it will be an accident case. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Understood.
sir.
Sir, can you tell what is R here?
R here is the reaction force. Reaction force is basically the force which we are going to measure by a weight machine. Like my weight, let's say there is no movement in the lift. There is no movement in the lift, or lift is going upward with constant velocity. With constant velocity. If velocity is constant, in that case acceleration will be 0. And we are having weight of the person downward and reaction force of the weight machine upward. So in this case, because acceleration is 0, there will be no external force, and R will be equals to M into G. And in that case, let's say this is 5, this is 10, this will be 50 Newton. This is normal weight. Like you are in the lift and this is your normal weight when you are doing nothing, you are just simply standing. Now, if the same person is in a lift, which is going upward with 2 meter per second square acceleration, mg is downward, r is upward. In that case, this is A. Since person is going upward, so either r factor or mg factor is responsible for the motion of the person, because in this case at person there are only two forces which are working, either r or mg. But lift is going upward and person is also going upward, which clearly states that r has to be greater than mg. And if you look at the difference, this will be r minus mg equals to ma, r will be equals to m into g plus a. In that case, m is 10, m is 5, mass of the body is taken as 5 unit, so this is 5, g is 10, and a is 2. So this will be 5 into 12, which means 60 Newton. So you can clearly understand here that when the lift is going upward, weight machine will give you reading of 60 units. And when the lift is at rest or lift is moving upward with constant velocity v, in that case reading of the weight machine will be 50 Newton. Which means when the lift is going upward, there will be some gain in the weight of the object. Understood?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes. Okay, let's take a pulley system also to understand. Let's say pulley system. There is a block and here is a block. This is block of mass m1 and this is block of mass m2. And let's say the whole system is in motion. This block is going downward with certain acceleration a. If the block m1 is going downward with certain acceleration a, the first point you have to check in the question is that the string with which these two blocks are connected is same or different. If the string is throughout same in the system, then tension in the string will be same. In fact, at all point of the string, same tension will be applied. Tension in this case is an interesting type of force, and this force can change its direction according to its position. Right? If you are looking at this point, the direction of tension will be in this direction. And if you are looking at this point, tension in this string will be in this direction. So remember, if you are looking tension at any point, then tension will work in such a way that it will try to pull that particular point. For example, I want to know the tension at this point. So tension at this point will be in this direction, and at this point will be in downward direction. Since the string is same throughout the system, so tension T at all point will be same. Now, if block M1 is going downward, obviously block M2 will go upward. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And if it is not the case, if it is the case that block of mass M1 is going downward, but block of mass M2 is not going downward, sorry, not going upward and not going downward, it is at rest, then what do you think? What will happen to the system? Mass M1 is continuously going downward, but mass M2 is not changing its position. It is at rest. What do you think what will happen in that case?
Sir, it's not possible.
Why? Why is it so that it's not possible?
Sir, if the both bodies are connected with one rope, so how can it possible, sir?
Is it possible that the string may be stretchable somewhat and weight of block 2, that mass M2 is such that string is not capable to pull it upward? In that case, first of all, string will stretch itself until it is going to be broken. So if
But
block
sir, in
M2,
ideal case,
yes, in ideal cases, it will always be possible that both the block has to be in motion. So what are the ideal conditions? That is the real question. So in ideal condition, we have a pulley which is frictionless. First point, pulley has to be frictionless. And second point, the string which we are using will be unstretchable. It is not going to stretch. The string is not made up of the material like rubber. Yes, it has to be a string with such a material which cannot be stretched, which means it is inextensible, unstretchable string, perfect string, which means. And in that case, block M1 will go downward with acceleration A, then block M2 has to go in upward direction with acceleration A. Now we will try to understand what forces are responsible to make them move in downward direction and in upward direction. So here will be M1 into G and here will be M2 into G. In the case of first block M1, we have only two forces on the system, M1G and tension T. And this block is going downward with acceleration A. This is the FBD of first block. FBD of first block. FBD means free body diagram. So what do you think? Which force is responsible? Which force is responsible or which force is greater? M1G or tension T for block M1?
sir, M1, M1G.
M1G obviously will be greater than tension T because the block is going downward. So M1G minus tension T will be M1 into A, and tension T can be given as M1G minus M1A. So T will be M1G minus A. Similarly, we can solve for mass M2 system. Mass M2, in this case, we have M2G downward and tension T upward, and the block is going upward with acceleration A. In this case, in this FBD, which force is responsible?
Tension force.
Sir, tension.
Tension will be responsible or tension will be greater. So T minus M2G will be M2A and T will be M2 times G plus A. Using these two relations, relation first and relation second, because tension throughout string is same, which means we can compare them. We can say equation 1 is equals to equation 2, and from there you can get the value of acceleration A in terms of G. The question will be like this: M1, M2 will be given. G is not the concern here. G will be a constant value. You can take the value of G as 10 or 9.8. But we will be interested in acceleration A of the block 1 as well as block 2. And we are also interested in tension T in the string. Once we got acceleration A in terms of G, we can easily find out the tension T in the string. And in your syllabus, there will be no complicated system of pulley. It will be very simple and easy case. So you can simply deal with it by making FBD, free body diagram. Understood or any doubt?
Understood, sir.
Understood, sir.
In chemistry, what was the last topic? Yes, in chemistry. In chemistry, I think we were doing equilibrium, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, it's IMU CET book.
Yes,
So how can I get it?
I will send the PDF.
Okay, sir.
Structure of atom is done, right? Classification is done. Bonding. States of matter. Equilibrium. So in equilibrium, we have discussed about what is chemical equilibrium and equilibrium constant K F and KB. Rate constant for forward reaction and rate constant for backward reaction. And at equilibrium, rate of forward reaction will be equals to rate of backward reaction. And from there, we got the expression of Kc, which is equilibrium constant. And the interesting point for chemical equilibrium is that at chemical equilibrium, it may be possible or it may not be possible that the concentration of reactant will be exactly same as the concentration of the products, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now there is a graph for reaction rate versus time. If we are having a reaction, a general reaction in which reactants are converting into product and products are converting into reactants. So in that type of reaction, these type of reactions are first of all known as reversible reactions. In chemistry, we have two types of reactions on the basis of equilibrium. Either the reaction will be irreversible or the reaction will be reversible. Irreversible reactions are the reactions which are completed in one direction only and they cannot be, they will not go in the backward direction. At least they will not go in backward direction by themselves. It is also possible that their direction can be altered deliberately or by some external agency. That is the different case. But in general, there are certain types of chemical reactions which will proceed only in one direction. And these reactions are known as irreversible reactions. For example, if I will treat zinc with H2SO4, then this will be a reaction only in one direction. And its product will be ZnSO4 plus hydrogen gas H2. So this is an example of irreversible reaction. On the other hand, we have reversible reactions. Reversible reactions are the reactions which can proceed in both directions, which can proceed in forward direction as well as in backward direction. What do we mean by forward and backward direction here? If we are stating forward direction, it means reactants are going to be converted into products or reactants are converting into products. And when we state as backward direction, it means products are getting back into the reactants or products are converting into reactants. Now, if we are observing a reversible reaction from starting, then it is observed that from experiment that first of all, rate of forward reaction will be greater and the rate of reversible reaction or the backward reaction will be minimum possible. As the rate of forward reaction will increase, a great amount of concentration of reactant will be converted into product, and then as soon as products are formed, they will be converting into the reactants in backward direction. So at some time instant, there will be a special case at which rate of forward reaction will be same as the rate of backward reaction. For example, In this graph, forward reaction is coming downward like this, and backward reaction is going like this. So if you will look at this time instant, from the graph, it may be observable that both the reactions are showing similarity. But the point is, if you will look at this instant of time, you will understand the rate of the reverse reaction is this one, and rate of the forward reaction is this one. So this is a higher rate as compared to this point. Let's say this is A, this is B. So B point is at higher value than point A, which clearly states that initially the rate of forward reaction is faster than the rate of reverse reaction or the backward reaction, which also implies that initially reactants will be converted into products at a faster rate or rapidly, while the products will be converted into reactant at a slower pace or at a lower speed. But then there will be an instant of time, after some time interval, there will be an instant of time at which both of them will be with exactly same rate. So rate of forward reaction will be equal to rate of backward reaction. And when this happens, then we state it as chemical equilibrium. An interesting point about chemical equilibrium is that concentration after this time instant will be constant. Concentration versus time graph is given in the next graph. In this case, if you will look at the again reaction and time, this is a concentration of reactant which is in decreasing way, and the concentration of product is increasing. But after a certain time interval, you will notice that the graph is almost a straight line for concentration of reactant as well as for concentration of product, which clearly states that after certain time interval, there will be no change in the concentration of the reactant and concentration of the product. So in chemical equilibrium, it is not good to say that concentration of reactant and product will be equal at chemical equilibrium. It may be or it may not be. It will depend on the nature of the reaction and reactants. Understood or any doubt?
Understood, sir.
Okay, next point is properties of chemical equilibrium. The first point is this equilibrium can be attained from either direction, forward as well as backward. Second point is we can attain this equilibrium only on the closure of a system. This is an interesting point and very important point. The system has to be closed. If the system is not closed, then equilibrium may not be attained in some special cases. For example, let's say I have a reaction calcium carbonate, and we are heating calcium carbonate in a open environment, which means the vessel is open, and we will get CaO plus CO2. In this reaction, CO2 is formed in gaseous phase, and if CO2 is in gaseous phase, it will go outside the container because the container is not closed, and the reaction will be irreversible. It will be in forward direction only. But if you will close the system, calcium carbonate is heating and the container is closed, in that case, it will not be possible for CO2 to get outside of the container, due to which CO2 will again react with calcium oxide and will try to go back into the CaCO3. So this is an interesting point, that in case of equilibrium, the system has to be closed. Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And next point, at equilibrium, it seems the reaction stops. I already told you this. In last lecture, I mentioned this 3 to 4 times. In equilibrium, it may seems like reaction is stopped, or the concentration of reactant and product must be same. It may be possible to think in that way, but it is not the case. You must remember that in chemical equilibrium, concentration of the reactant and product may or may not be equal, first point. And second point, on observing the container, if you are a chemist and you are observing a reaction in chemical equilibrium, it may look like the reaction has stopped. but it is not the case. Reactions are continuously in flow or in motion. Backward reaction as well as forward reaction, both the reactions are taking place, but the rate of reaction will be equal. Rate of forward reaction will be equals to rate of backward reaction, but again, rate of forward reaction equals to rate of backward reaction does not imply the equality of the concentrations of reactant and product. Understood? Yes. Law of mass action, I already told you. Law of mass action, it states that the rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to the molarity or the concentration of the reactant. And from there we get equilibrium constant Kc. Kc is equals to K forward by K backward. And if there is a reaction and you want to write the Kc, it is simple to write. You have to take products in numerator and reactants in denominator. Apart from that, you have to take care of stoichiometric coefficients. In chemical equilibrium, stoichiometric coefficients will go into the power of the concentrations of reactant and product. So let's say I have a reaction which is given by H2 plus I2, which gives 2HI. And I want to write Kc for it. So what will be the Kc? It will be Hi with raised to power 2 and H2 concentration and I2 concentration. Understood or any doubt?
Understood, sir.
Next point is about characteristics of equilibrium constant. Again, this is very important point. Characteristics of equilibrium constant. Equilibrium constant means we are talking about Kc. First point, numerical value of equilibrium constant Kc does not depend on concentration of the reactant, pressure change, presence of a catalyst, volume, the direction from which equilibrium is attained, mechanism of reversible reaction. These are the factors on which the value of Kc does not depend. Understood? And on the other hand, the value of Kc is dependent on temperature. It will depend on temperature. If you will change the temperature for a specific reaction, the value of K will also change. Understood? Understood or any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, next point. Could someone tell me what is the relation between equilibrium constant and rate of a reaction? What do you think? If I increase the value of K, rate of a chemical reaction will increase or decrease?
Increase, sir. Increase, sir.
It will increase. How could we understand it? We already mentioned that rate of a reaction is directly proportional to concentration. And when you remove the proportionality sign, you can write it as constant and concentration. So this constant and this R is directly related. Yes. So if this constant K will increase, rate of a reaction will also increase. But in case of Kc, there are different cases for different reaction. And according to those reactions, we will decide whether the rate of a reaction will increase or decrease. It may be increase or it may be decrease actually. But in your syllabus, I don't think that much detail will be used. Next point is endothermic and exothermic chemical reactions. What are the endothermic chemical reactions? The reactions in which heat energy is absorbed at the temperature will be increased. What will be the exothermic reactions? Exothermic reactions are the reactions in which heat energy is released. Understood? And this is the point. If the value of equilibrium constant is larger or greater, then this reaction will proceed towards the product side. Understood or any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Next point is Relation between equilibrium constant of forward and backward reaction. I already told you that if you will flip the direction of a reaction, equilibrium constant will be reciprocal. So if we have a reaction A plus B which gives C plus D, and now you write it as C plus D to A plus B, then there will be only a difference of reciprocal way. So if you have A plus B gives C plus D, this is Kc, then C plus D gives A plus B will be 1 upon Kc, which means Kf and Kb are reciprocal of each other. Understood? Next point is exothermic and endothermic reaction. I already told you what are exothermic reactions and what are endothermic reactions. Next is Le-Chatelier's principle. This is very important concept. Anyone, what is the Le-Chatelier's principle? What is Le-Chatelier's principle? Le-Chatelier's principle states that if there is a system at equilibrium and you are changing its conditions, which means either you are changing the pressure of the system, or you are changing the temperature, or you are changing the volume, or you are changing the concentration of reactant as well as or you can change the concentration of product. So Le-Chatelier's principles states that if there is a change in the system which is in equilibrium, in that case the equilibrium will try to maintain itself, and to maintain itself equilibrium will be shifted in that direction in which direction the effect of change is nullified, which means let's say there is a reaction A plus B which gives C plus D. This is an equilibrium case or chemical equilibrium reaction. And if I say that we are increasing the concentration of reactant, what will happen to the equilibrium? Since concentration of reactant is increasing, according to Le-Chatelier's principle, equilibrium will try to decrease the concentration of reactant. And to decrease the concentration of reactant has to be converted into product, which implies that if you are increasing the concentration of reactant, the reaction will go in forward direction. Or if you are decreasing the concentration of product, then also reaction will go in forward direction. But if you are increasing the concentration of product, then the reaction will go in backward direction. So this is the concept of Le-Chatelier's principle. Le-Chatelier's principle also states that if there is an equilibrium reaction which is endothermic, and endothermic reaction is a reaction which is energy favored, and you are giving energy to this type of reaction, in that case the equilibrium will be shifted in forward direction because you are in favor of the chemical reaction. But if there is an endothermic reaction and you are decreasing the temperature, in that case you are going against the equilibrium, and in that case equilibrium will be shifted in backward direction. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Okay. And now remember, K increases with increase in temperature for endothermic reaction, which means reaction will go in forward direction. K decreases with increase in temperature for an exothermic reaction, which means reaction will go in backward direction. And for endothermic reaction, delta H is positive. This is an interesting fact. It can be directly asked in the question. What is the value of delta H for endothermic reaction? So delta H is positive. It can also be written as delta H greater than 0. And for exothermic reaction, delta H is less than 0. And if delta H is 0, the temperature change has no effect on equilibrium composition because there is no relation between K with temperature in such type of reactions. Effect of catalyst is again an interesting point. And the interesting point is that if you add some catalyst to a reaction which is at equilibrium, catalyst will increase the rate of the reaction in both the direction, forward direction as well as backward direction. So if we are adding a catalyst and this catalyst increases the rate of forward reaction by factor 2, then the same catalyst will also increase the rate of backward reaction with factor 2, which implies from the formula Kc is equals to Kf by Kb. If same factor is working in both the direction, forward as well as backward, it implies that there will be no change in value of Kc. So catalyst has no effect on equilibrium constant. Understood? Yes, understood, or any doubt? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let's understand the effect of pressure. We have PV equals to nRT. If container is closed, which is the condition for equilibrium, in that case, P will be N by V times RT. So P is equals to concentration C RT. Or let me write it as, in another way, we can also state it as, if volume is constant, R is constant, T is constant, P is directly proportional to M, which implies that if pressure is increasing, the reaction will be shifted in that direction, in which direction number of moles is greater. So let's say I have to, let me write it as N2 plus N2 plus H2, which gives 2NH3. And we are saying that we will increase the pressure. What will happen at equilibrium? So on left hand side, there are two number of moles of gases, 1 mole of nitrogen and 1 mole of hydrogen. On the other hand, we have 2 moles of ammonia. So you can understand that there are equal number of moles, 2 moles on right hand side and 2 moles on, sorry, the reaction is not balanced. Extremely sorry, reaction is not balanced. I have to balance it first. This is N2 plus H2, so this will be 3H2. Which means on left hand side we have 4 and on left hand side we have, on right hand side we have 2 moles. So now if I ask you the question, what will happen if we will increase the pressure? So this concept states that if pressure is increased, reaction will go in that direction in which number of moles are greater. So in this particular reaction, number of moles are greater on left hand side, which means on increasing the pressure, this reaction will go in backward direction. I hope you understand it. Yes or no? Yes or no? Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. Try first question. For the reversible reaction, N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. Delta H is negative. And we already mentioned what do we mean by delta H negative. If delta H negative, here is the case. If delta H negative, the reaction is exothermic. So delta H is negative. Delta H is negative means this is an exothermic reaction. The equilibrium will be shift in forward direction if concentration of. So if you want to take the reaction in forward direction, then we must increase the concentration of reactant. So concentration of N2 must be decreased. Sorry, concentration of N2 must be increased. So option C will be the correct option. Are you getting it? Yes or no? Next question is, according to law of mass action, the rate of reaction is directly proportional to the molar concentration of the reactant. So option A will be correct. Next question is, in the equilibrium H3PO4 plus H2O gives H2PO4 minus plus H2O plus. I think it will be H3O plus, not H2O plus. This will be H3O plus. The equilibrium constant is most likely to be changed by. If you want to change the equilibrium constant, adding a catalyst is not a good option. Because catalyst has no effect on equilibrium constant. So what do you think? Adding H3PO4? In the equilibrium H3PO4 plus H2O gives H2PO2 minus plus H3O plus. The equilibrium constant is most likely to be changed by adding H3PO4 will be a good option here. Yes or no? Next question is, for the reaction 2HI gives H2 plus I2, the equilibrium constant K at 490 degrees Celsius is 0.022. So this is the value of Kc. The equilibrium constant for the reverse reaction. So if this is the equilibrium constant for forward reaction, what will be for backward reaction? For backward reaction, it will be 1 divided by 0.022. Divide it, what will be the answer? 1 divided by 0.022. Yes. 1 divided by 0.022. What will be the answer? Anyone? This will be approximate 45.45. Option A will be the correct option. Try to solve question number 5. The decomposition of PCl5 at 323 Kelvin proceeds as PCl5 gives PCl3 plus Cl2. If the degree of dissociation of PCl5 be alpha and the equilibrium pressure be P, then the partial pressure due to chlorine will be. How will you solve it? Yes, anyone? PCl5 can be written as PCl3 plus Cl2. This is PCl5 which gives PCl3 plus Cl2. PCl3 plus Cl2. Degree of dissociation of PCl5 be alpha and equilibrium pressure be P. Then the partial pressure. So initially, let's say this is 1 mole. This will be 0. This will be 0. After some time t, this will be 1 minus alpha. This will be alpha. This will be alpha according to stoichiometry. And if you will look at the pressure at equilibrium, right? Pressure at equilibrium is P. Then partial pressure due to chlorine will be. Okay. PV is equals to NRT. If temperature is constant, then pressure P will be directly proportional to N by V, that is concentration. So if this is 1 minus alpha divided by V, alpha divided by V, alpha divided by V, and this will be same as pressure P, because pressure P is directly proportional N by V, which is P equals to some constant N by V. Or you can also state that P is directly proportional to N. In that case, total pressure P will be 1 minus alpha plus alpha plus alpha, which means this will be 1 plus alpha. This is P total. We want to know the mole fraction of chlorine or partial pressure of chlorine, I think. Yes, partial pressure of chlorine. So partial pressure of chlorine will be mole fraction of chlorine into total pressure. Mole fraction of chlorine will be how much? Mole fraction of chlorine will be number of moles of chlorine, that is alpha, divided by total number of moles, that is 1 plus alpha, into P total. P total at equilibrium is P. So answer will be alpha upon 1 plus alpha into P. Are you getting it or any doubt? Yes, any doubt? Okay. Try to solve the remaining questions. If you have any doubt, you can send me. What was the last topic in maths? Yes.
Sir, complex number.
Complex number. Complex number, I think we have done
Yes,
all
sir.
the concepts.
Yes, sir.
We can start P and C in today's session. Permutations and combinations. What do we mean by permutation and what do we mean by combination? Permutation is the number of arrangements and combination is the number of selection. Combination will work in such a case where we just want to select some number of objects or some number of items from a given number of objects. Like we have 10 different pens, and out of these 10 different pens, I want to select 3 pens. So how could I select these 3 pens, or in how many ways I can select 3 pens? So that will be the concept of combination, and we write it as 10C3. In case of permutation, there are total 10 pens. I want to select 3 pens out of these 10 pens and I want to arrange them on the table. Like I want to put them on the table. Let's say I select red pen, black pen, and blue pen. Now these 3 pens can be put on a table in different ways. Like first pen is red, then blue, then black, or first pen is black, then red, then blue. And there will be certain number of ways to do so. So we are interested in finding the number of ways in which a work can be done. Understood or any doubt? In this concept, you first of all must know the formula for NPR. NPR is equals to n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. What is NCR? NCR is n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. If you will try to relate NPR and NCR together, you will understand that NPR is equals to NCR into r factorial, which means number of arrangements of r objects out of n different objects will always be greater than number of selections. Remember, these two formulae for NPR and NCR will be valid or will be applicable if and only if objects are distinct, all the objects are different. So if some of the objects are similar or same, then these formulae will not work. So the condition for these formulae to be valid is that all the objects need to be totally different from each other. NPR stands for the number of arrangements of R different things taken out from N different things and arranging them. NCR means number of ways to select R objects out of N different objects. And in this case, we are not interested in arranging these R arrangements. We just want to select these R arrangements. Sorry, we just want to select these R objects. Are you getting it?
Sir, can you repeat?
NPR means number of arrangements of R different things taken from N different things at a time. And NCR means I want to find out the number of ways in which I can select R different objects from N different objects. In NCR, there is no arranging of the selected objects. But in NPR, there is selection of the objects and then arranging these objects. Understood?
Yes, sir.
To deal with NCR and NPR, we have the formula n factorial by r factorial into n minus r factorial, and similar for NPR. In NCR, there are certain properties. If you have NCX is equals to NCY, in that case, there are two possibilities. either x will be same as y or x plus y will be equals to n. This is an important property in NCR. If NCX is equals to NCY, then either x will be equals to y or the sum of x and y will be equals to n. Understood? Another point is, from here you can write it as x is nothing but n minus y. So if NCX is equals to NCY, it means NCX can also be written as NCN minus y or n minus x. Understood? Understood? Next point we have NCR is equals to NCN minus R. NCR plus NCR minus 1 will be n plus 1 CR. These are the standard formula. You must remember them. And if we are having NCR plus NCR plus 1, then this will be n plus 1 CR plus 1. Fifth point is NC1 plus NC2. In fact, fifth point will start from 0. It is like this. NC0 plus NC1 plus NC2 plus dash dash NCN. In that case, this will be 2 raised to power n. Now, if you will take even separate and odd separate, this will be NC0 plus NC2 plus NC4 plus dash dash is equals to, this will be 2 raised to power n divided by 2, that is 2 raised to power n minus 1. And why is it so? Because in NCR there will be certain number of terms, and out of these terms, some terms are even and some terms are odd, and these will be divided into two half will be even, half will be odd. So NC0 plus NC2 plus NC4 will be 2 raised to power n minus 1. Similarly, NC1 plus NC3 plus NC5 plus dash dash will be equals to 2 raised to power n minus 1. Understood or any doubt? यस कोई डाउट है किसी को? There are certain different cases. Case number 6. Case number 6 is the number of combinations of P plus Q plus R things when P are alike of one kind, Q are alike of second kind, and R are alike of the third kind. So if we have certain number of objects, and these number of objects are P plus Q plus R, and in these objects, P objects are of the same kind, Q objects are of the same kind, and R objects are of the same kind, and you want to find out the number of combinations to select these objects. So number of combinations or number of selection will be P minus 1 into Q minus 1 into R minus 1 and minus 1. This is a standard formula, means you have to derive it by the derivation, but we do not have so much time. So you just have to remember it. If the objects are alike or the objects are same, then we will apply the formula P minus 1, Q minus 1, R minus 1 and minus 1. Second is number of combinations of n distinct things taken R at a time when P particular things are always taken. So if we have total n objects, and out of these n objects, P always be included. So first of all, out of these n objects, we will take the P objects which must be included. If P objects must be included, it means there is no choice about these P objects. There is only one choice, there is only one way that you have to select them. So let's say we select P objects. In how many ways P objects can be selected? This will be just one way. You just have to select them. You can do nothing about them. So it will be If P objects are included always, then this can be done in only one way. Now we are left with N minus P objects, and we have to select R minus P objects because out of R, P are already taken. So number of ways will be N minus P, C, R minus P. That C for combination. Next point is, if P objects are always excluded, we do not want to include these P objects, then we will put these P objects separate, and then we will select R objects out of these N minus P objects. So if we have total N objects, P objects are placed separately. Out of the remaining objects, we will select R object. So this will be N minus P C R. Any doubt in it? Any doubt? Anyone? Any doubt? Anyone? Okay. Next is 10th point. 9th point is same as 6th point. 10th point is the number of combinations of n distinct things taken are at a time when anything or object may be repeated any number of times is given by. So we have total n different things, and r things are taken at a time, and they can be repeated any number of times. So number of ways will be n plus r minus 1 cr. N plus r minus 1 cr, that will be coefficient of x raised to power r in the expansion. You will understand it in binomial expansion. Permutations is the number of ways of selecting r objects and arranging them in a definite and proper manner. This is what do we call as permutation. It is represented by NPR or P n comma R. Circular arrangements or circular permutations. Circular arrangement or circular permutations are the arrangements or permutations in which some of the persons or objects are placed on a round table, or we just want to make a necklace, and in the formation of these necklace, in how many ways flowers can be arranged. So these type of questions will be done by circular permutations. First point is, if we have n different things and are taken at a time to arrange on a round table or circular permutation, the formula will be NPR divided by R. The number of ways of permuting n distinct objects along a circle will be n minus 1 factorial. NPR by R is used because out of n we are taking only R objects. But in second case, n minus 1 factorial is given. In that case, we are taking n objects and we are arranging them. Now, when you are arranging flowers or person on a round table, then this can be looked into two sense. Either we will look at the persons in clockwise sense or in anti-clockwise sense. So to consider anti-clockwise and clockwise sense, the number of arrangements in circular permutation will be n minus 1 factorial divided by 2. Understood or any doubt? I am talking about this formula and this formula. Yes, anyone, any doubt? Anyone, any doubt? Okay. First question is, there are 3 roads from A to B and 4 roads from B to C. In how many ways a person can go to a place C from A, Y, place B? Before solving this question, let's understand 2 fundamental rules of counting or some authors write it as fundamental principle of counting. In fundamental principle of counting, we have two concepts which are named as multiplication theorem and addition theorem. Multiplication theorem is used when there is no choice. You have to complete the work in any way. And addition is used when there are choices to complete a job. So you have to understand when to use multiplication theorem and when to use addition theorem. One of the trick which is told to the student is that if in a question there is something like and, then we will use multiplication theorem, and if there is or in the question, then we will use addition theorem. For example, there are 3 roads from A to B and 4 roads from B to C, and there is a person who want to go from place C, place C from place A via place B. So how could this job be done? First of all, the person will go from point A to point C. Sorry, point A to point B. And to go from point A to point B, we have 3 different ways. This is first, this is second, this is third. So number of ways to go from A to B is 3, and number of ways to go from B to C is 4. So total number of ways, or the required number of ways to go from A to C will be, person has to go from A to B and then from B to C. For the person to go from A to B, there are 3 choices, and for the same person to go from B to C, there are 4 choices. So required number of ways will be 3 into 4, that is 12. Understood or any doubt? Yes, understood or any doubt? Okay. Now we have another question: in how many ways the letters, this one, can be arranged? So if you look at the word, there are certain letters which are repeated. In this case, we have total how many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 letters. And out of these 6 letters, how many are repeated? 3 are repeated. So this will be divided by 3 factorial. So this is the way to deal with the questions in which same letter or alphabet is repeating. For example, if I want to know the number of arrangements in which you can arrange let's say I have a word, I have a word Mississippi. We have the word Mississippi. So how could we arrange them? What will be the possible number of ways to arrange all the letters from the word Mississippi? So we will notice how many letters are there. How many letters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters. 10 factorial divided by repeated. Repeated will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 factorial. And repeated are double S 4 again. Understood? Understood or any doubt? Next question. if a polygon has 27 diagonals, then how many sides does it have? So let's say the polygon has n sides. If polygon has n sides, there will be n vertices. And if you will take any two vertices from these n, out of n vertices, we take r vertices. Sorry, I want to make what? Yes, I want to make diagonal. So what will be the condition for diagonal? Let's say this will be the diagonal. So diagonal will be formed by selecting 2 points. So if we have total n sides, there will be n points, n corner points. And out of these n points, if you will select any two and C2, then this will be the case for diagonal. But you can also imagine that if you will take NC2 in these selections or in these combinations, that part is also included when 2 points will be forming a side of the polygon instead of diagonal. Yes or no? So if we have n vertices, there will be n sides, and in NC2, these n sides are also included. So this will be minus n, and this will be equals to 27. 27. Now NC2 minus n factorial, NC2 minus n is equals to 27. You can solve it. Yes or no? Could you solve it? Yes, anyone? Any doubt? Yes, any doubt? किसी कुछ पूछना है भाई? Okay. NPR is 120, NCR is 20. Then what is the value of NR? Just apply the formula of NPR and NCR and divide them. You will get the answer. The interesting point in PNC is that instead of addition and subtraction, multiplication and division work better in permutations and combinations. So remember, if you are having a difficult calculation, this calculation can be made easy by multiplication and division. Understood? Understood? Next question is, find the number of ways in which boys and 5 girls can sit in a ring. Find the number of ways in which 5 boys and 5 girls can sit in a ring. So if there is a ring, it will be a circular permutation. And in case of circular permutation, we have direct formula for the number of arrangements, that is n minus 1 factorial. So that will be n minus 1 factorial. And if n is 10, 5 boys, 5 girls, this will be 10 minus 1, that is 9 factorial. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me the answer of first question. Yes, solve question number first. Question number first is the number of triangles that are formed by choosing the vertices from a set of 12 points, 7 of which lie on the same straight line. So if you want to form a triangle, then to form a triangle, we have to select 3 points. And these 3 points have to be non-collinear. So number of triangles will be 12 C3. But Out of these 12 points, 7 points are on the same line. 7 points are on the one single line. And if these 3 points will be taken from those 7 points, there will be no triangle formed, because then these 3 points will be in a straight line. So it means from 12C3, 12C3 is a bigger family. It has included all the possible cases, whether the triangle is formed or not. 12C3 means out of 12 points, we have selected 3 points. So we have to subtract the number of ways in which 3 collinear points can be selected out of 7. So 12C3 minus 7C3 will be the answer. And if you want to simplify 12C3, it is combination. To solve combination, it is very easy to simplify. The first point is you have to make the subscript a small number, and then take the superscript number and open it as many times as you have subscript. Like 12C3. 12C3 means 12 will be open 3 times. So 12 3 will be 12 into 11 into 10 divided by 3 times means 3 into 2 into 1. So 12 is open 3 times, and 3 will be 3 into 2 into 1. 3 2 just 6, 6 2 just 12. So this will be how much? This will be 220. Out of these 220, 7C3 has to be subtracted. What will be 7C3? 7C3 will be 7 into 6 into 5. 3 into 2 into 1. Again, this will be 35. So minus 35 will be there. So this will be how much? Yes, anyone please tell me. 220 minus 35.
185.
So 185 will be the answer. So you have to be careful while reading the question. Understood? Okay, could you solve second question? Or first of all, let's say you have to solve fourth question. Question number 4. Solve question number 4. Solve question number 4. In question number 4, we have NCR plus NCR plus 1, which gives N plus 1 CX. If you will look at the theory, there will be a relation. NCR plus 1, N plus 1 CR plus 1. So NCR plus 1, NCR plus 1, answer will be N plus 1 CR plus 1. So the value of X will be R plus 1. Are you getting it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now try to solve question number 2. Done. Question number 2. Anyone? Out of 18 points in a plane, no 3 are in the same straight line, except 5 points which are collinear. The number of straight lines which can be formed using them. So first of all, tell me how many points are needed to draw a straight line, or in terms of mathematics, in terms of coordinate geometry, how many points are needed to write the equation of a line? Yes, anyone? No one? Okay. To define a line in a plane, or to write the equation of a line in a plane, we need minimum 2 points. Maximum there may be any number of points, but minimum you must have 2 points. So if you are having certain number of points in a plane and you want to know how many lines can be defined, or how many lines can be drawn using these points, then you have to select 2 points out of the given points. So we are given with 18 points, and to have a line we will select 2. So this will be 18C2. Now in these 18C2, those 5 points are also included which are collinear. And out of these 5 points, there will be only one line, because if you will select 2 points out of these 5 points, there will be only one line, which means in 18C2, some of the lines are repeated, and these lines will be formed by the 5 collinear points. So answer should be 18C2 minus 5C2. 18C2 minus 5C2. Simplify it. What will be the value? Yes. Anyone? भाई आया किसी का आंसर? किसी का आंसर नहीं आया? Okay. How will you solve 18C2? 18C2 will be 18 into 17 by 2 into 1 minus 5C2. 5C2 will be 5 into 4 upon 2 into 1. 2 to the 2 9. So this will be 17 into 9 minus 10. What will be 17 into 9? 153 minus 10. So this will be how much? 143. 143. Now there is no option as 143, and from this we can conclude that either we are going in the right direction or there is something wrong. The wrong is that when you subtract 5C2, when you are subtracting 5C2, you have excluded one line which is made up of these 5 points, right? So if you are subtracting 5C2, it means this line is taken out of the number of lines. So you have to add this line separately. So 143 plus 1, which will give 144, which will be the correct answer. Understood? Understood or any doubt?
Understood, sir.
Okay, next question we have. Question number 5. Oh, let's solve first. Question number 8. There are 10 true false questions. The number of ways in which they can be answered is. Yes. What do you think? What will be the answer?
Sir, C.
See how? Yes.
Sir, because there is two option. One is true and another is false.
Another is false. Yes. In 10 true false questions, if you are going to select a question, there are two ways to answer it. That is, either you will write T for true or you will write F for false. So, which means question number 1 has two possible ways to answer it. Question number 2 also has two possible ways to answer it. Question number 3 also has two possible ways to answer it. And our work will be completed if and only if all the 10 questions are answered. So, because there is no choice, you cannot skip any question. You have to use multiplication theorem. If there is no choice, we will use multiplication theorem. And if there is a choice, we can use addition theorem, or we will use addition theorem. So in this case, this will be 2 into 2 into 2, 10 times. So this will be 2 raised to power 10. So answer will be C option. Understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Try to solve question number 5. ये सोल्व कर लेंगे आप क्वेश्चन. Yes or no?
Sir, I guess 96. Sir, 96.
96. नाइन्टी दिखा रहा है ये तो। नाइन्टी। क्या क्वेश्चन है ये? The digits 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 are written in बस भाई in
In every
every
possible
possible,
order.
yes, in every possible order. The number of numbers greater than 5, 6 and this much. So either you can solve it in two different ways. Either you just try to find out the numbers which are greater than 5, 6, 000, or you find the total number of numbers which can be made using these digits and subtract the numbers which will be smaller than 5, 6, 000. So there are total 5 digits, and these 5 digits can be arranged in how many ways? 5 factorial, yes, minus numbers which are less than this given number. So if number starts from 4, doesn't matter what you write here, it will always be less than 5, 6, 000. So if you will fix the position of 4, you will left with 4 digits, and these 4 digits can be arranged in factorial 4 ways. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And now if you will fix the position of 5 and then you will fix the position of 4, if this is 5 and 4, doesn't matter what you take digits here, it will always be less than 5, 6, 000. So if you will fix 5 and 4, you are left with 3 digits. This can be done in 3 factorial ways. So this will be how much? 5 factorial is how much? Yes, 5 factorial is how much?
120, sir. 120.
120 minus 4 factorial, 24,
24.
minus 3 factorial is 6. So we will left with 90. Understood?
Sir,
Yes.
first step, can you repeat? Sir, first step.
First step is I first of all I find out all the possible numbers which can be made using all these digits. Since there are 5 digits and these 5 digits can be arranged in 5 factorial ways. So this will be 5 factorial. Then out of these 5 factorial numbers, some numbers are less than 5, 6, 000. I will subtract all those numbers. Now, first case to get those numbers will be if a number starts from 4. If a number is starting from 4, it will always be less than 5, 6, 000 because first digit is less than. So if you will fix the position of 4, you will have only 4 digits to arrange. And these 4 digits can be arranged in factorial 4 ways. So 5 factorial total numbers, 5 factorial total numbers minus 4 factorials. Now, if you are starting the number with 5, then there are two possibility. Either next digit will be 4 or 6, 7, 8. But I am looking for the numbers which are less than 5, 6. So I will take next digit 4. If you will fix 5 and 4, you will left with only 3 digits to arrange. And this can be done in 3 factorial. So total possible numbers minus numbers which are less than 5, 6, 000 minus numbers which are less than 5, 6, 000. And hence we will get 90. Understood?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. Now in general aptitude, I have done almost every part which was possible for me. Now there are certain topics which are left and I am not good at those topics. I am not good at calendars. Is there coding and decoding in your syllabus?
Yes, sir, it is in.
Yes, sir.
Reasoning. First concept is letter series. This is basically purely reasoning. In letter series, you just have to remember the rank of the letters in English. Sorry, you have to remember the position or the rank of the alphabets. Like rank for A is 1, rank for B is 2. Similarly, we will go till Z. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till 26. And 26th rank will be for Z. You can also rank them in reverse order. In reverse order, Z will be first and A will be the last. T is 20. T20, you can easily remember it because T20 is very famous in India. T20. E is 5th, F is 6th, G is 7, G7, G7, H8, I9, J10. So you have to remember the rank. If it is not possible to remember, or let's say you are not very good or you do not want to take so much time in this, then you just write the rank on a paper and use accordingly. So important point is the rank can be given in normal way, like in forward direction, and it can also be given in reverse direction. It will totally depend on the question. You just have to look at the question and you have to decide what is going on in the question. There is no specific rule, there is no specific formula to it. You just have to observe the question in a very specific way and then just try to decide what is happening, what is the reasoning in the question, and then answer it. Like first question we have, it is BYCXDWE and we are looking for the next letter. So if you will look at the series, this is B to C, C to D, and D to E. B to C, B to C, अरे यार, B to C is +1, C to D is +1, and D to E is also +1. And now if you will look at Y to X, this is -1, X to W is also -1. Right? If you look at here, Y -1 X -1 W -1 V. So I think next letter will be -1 V. Are you getting it? Yes or no? Because in forward series we have 1, 2, 3, 4. In backward series we have 1, 2, 3. So this letter has to be from backward series. So answer will be V. Are you getting it? How to deal with it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, what do you think? What should be the letter in question mark? In second question, it is BAFEJIPOU. Any idea?
V.
How?
It
What
is
is the
-1.
reasoning? Yes?
It is AABEFIJOPUV.
Which means
V.
it is like if it is A, then it is B. E, F, I, J, O, P, and U, V. Right?
Yes.
What will be in the third?
B, sir. B option.
It is B, A, D, C, H, G, J, I. What is the reasoning in it?
FE.
F, E, how?
Sir, EF.
B.
E, F. Again, how? What is the reason? What is the logic?
This B. D. C.
Sir, FE.
Yes?
Sir, in question there is a pair of two consecutive letters A, B, C,
A,
D.
B,
So
C,
next will
D,
be
A, B,
EF.
C, D, A, B, C, D, then E, F. Then B will be answer, not E, F. Because A, B, it's going in this direction,
Yes.
na? A, B, C, D, G, H, I, J, and E, F. Yes?
Yes, sir. I'm stating the same.
Yes. So in these type of questions, there is no specific like formula or something. You just have to observe the question, what is happening. How will you answer the fourth one? It's ADG XVT BEH WUS. What is the connection?
Sir, there is gap of two letter in between them.
Okay. ADBCs, then we have DEFG, right? So letter gap is 2. Similarly in XVT, XVT, but it is not true for XVT. In XVT, there is only gap of one letter. BEH, BEH. In BEH, again, there are two letters. And WUS, one letter. Means the coming one will be with two letters gap. Am I right? There are gap of two letters, then one, then two, then one, then two. So which will have gap of two letters?
B option.
D option, that is STU.
B.
B. B is what? B is CFI. C, two letter gap F, two letter gap I. Yes. It must be B option then. Understood?
Yes, sir.
ओके और क्वेश्चंस करें या मैं नेक्स्ट बताऊं नेक्स्ट टॉपिक यस टेल मी should we move on the next topic or you just want to solve more questions
Sir, next topic, sir.
ये प्रैक्टिस कर लेना बिकॉज इसमें कुछ ऐसा है नहीं कि मैं क्या ही बताऊं उसमें मैं भी तुम्हारी तरह ऑब्जर्व ही करूंगा साथ के साथ रॉन्ग लेटर सीरीज So what is wrong letter series? In this type of series, the candidates are not required to find the letter or group of letters which will complete the given series, but they have to identify the letter or number which is wrong or misfit in the given series, which means there will be a trending in the series, and according to that trending you have to look whether the trending is followed throughout the series or there is something wrong in it. Like in first example we have J, M, P, T, V and Y. So if you will look at J and M, it is 3 unit gap. M to P 3 unit, P to S 3 unit, but in series it is P to T. In series it is given what? P to T, which means in place of T we must have S. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So correct option will be T. Try to understand, try to find out what is wrong in first. A, E, H, O, U. A, B, C, D,
Sir, H.
E, H. Because E and H are consecutive, right? And there is a gap between A and E. And there is also gap between O and U. Yes? A, B, C, D, E, 4, E, F, G, 2, P, Q, R, S, T, T, U, V, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. Yes. H or E?
Sir, H.
Okay, could you tell me the gap between them? What is the gap between A and E?
Sir, 3.
3. And OU? Gap between OU?
5.
5. No. There is some different logic, I think. Yes.
Sir, there's a logic. These all letters are vowel and H
Yes.
is not vowel.
This
Yes,
is the
sir.
logic. सीरीज नहीं बन रही ना, वहां गैप डिफरेंट आ रहा है. 3 and 5 का गैप तो नहीं चलेगा. This will be the correct reasoning. That A, E, O, U are vowels, but H is not vowel. So H is not, H does not belong to the series. Second, CHMSWB. Check for the gap between them.
Sir, S.
How?
Because sir, the difference of gap is not same.
What is the difference between C and H?
4,
4. H and M?
5. Sorry,
4, 5.
sorry,
Uh,
sir. There's mistake.
Four,
Sir, it's four. Sir, it's
Four.
four.
4,
4, 4. Okay, 4. And WB?
It's four,
WB
sir.
will,
4.
WB will go in reverse direction, right? This is
Yes, sir.
4. So there has to be some mistake here. MS. Gap between MS?
Sir, 5.
Sir, five.
5.
Sir, 5.
5. So in place of S, there has to be another letter with gap 4. What will be that letter?
Sir, R.
R, which means S is wrong. In place of S, it must be R. Yes?
Yes, sir.
R should be in place of, but gap is of 5. Gap आप लोग सही से काउंट नहीं किया क्या? Answer is correct. Answer will be yes. Third, yes. XSNICY. What is the reasoning?
Sir, Sir, why?
Why? What is the reasoning?
Sir, because of gap difference.
Again gap. What is the gap?
Sir, X and S gap difference is 4 and C and Y gap difference is 3. That's why Y is incorrect.
What is the difference between X and S?
Sir, 4.
4. And S and N?
Sir, 4.
Again 4. NI?
Sir, 4.
4. IC?
4.
IC is also 4.
No,
C,
sir. There's 5.
C, E. Yes, sir, 4.
IC is also 4. Then CY is wrong.
Yes, sir. Plus 3.
How you are taking it in reverse direction?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So answer according to you is Y.
Yeah.
Let's check. The pattern in the series is with -5.
Yes, sir.
And D should be in place of C. D should be in place of C, which means they are going in backward.
Yes, sir.
Y to C -5, C2I minus 5, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Means gap between them is of 5 unit. So in place of C, it must be D. And answer will be D option.
Yes, sir.
Fourth, what is reasoning in fourth? Gap between Z and A,
1.
1. A and W, A and W is not 1. This is wrong.
Sir, W. So W is the answer.
Yes,
So W is the answer.
W. How? A to B, B to C.
Sir, A, B, are alternatives
Yes,
and Z, W, X is not.
yes. It must be XYZ type, right? In place of W, it must be Y.
Yes, sir.
So W is the wrong. Last, number 5. MLONQPR. MPQR. गैप चेक करें भाई अगेन. गैप बिटवीन M and L.
One.
Yes. LM means -1.
Option
Gap.
A is correct.
Okay, how?
There is gap difference between M and O is 1, L and N is 1, O and Q is 1, N and P is 1, and Q and R is no gap.
Repeat. M and O.
Yes, sir.
M and O has 1 unit gap. Then
L and in between 1 gap.
L and
N.
N again 1. Okay, then
O and Q will be 1.
OQ
Yes, sir.
plus 1. Then
N and P will be 1.
N and P1.
Q
Then
and R.
R.
Q and R is 0.
Yes. Q M N O P Q R. Q R is 0. Yes. So in place of R, it must be what letter? P Q R S. Means R is the wrong or R is the misfit. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. S should be in place of R. R is the wrong. What is repeat series? ये क्या क्या दे रखा है इन्होंने? In this type of series, small letters of the alphabet are used to make a set of letters which are repeated. The candidate has to find the set of letters which will fit the blanks left in the given series in such a manner that one section of the series is further repeated in the same manner. Means we have to maintain the series. Which of the following groups of letter will complete the given series? B, A, B, then gap A, B, then gap B. One way to solve is that you just simply put all the options and check whether the series is repeated or not. Like I want to look at A is correct or not. So what will I do is that I will just write it. This will be B, A. In place of I will have B, then B, then A, B, then A, B. Is it repeated? No, it's irregular. So this is not the option. Now let's look at option B. So if it is B, A, B, gap, A, B, gap, A, gap, B. Now I am putting option B. So I will write here A, I will write here B, then I will write here B, A is gone, A is gone, B is gone, B is gone, A. Is it repeated? Is it repeated? B, A, B, B, A, B, and B, A, B. Yes. In this case, series is repeated. So answer will be B. So what will I do? I will just put the options and check whether they are repeated in a regular way or not. Are you getting it? Yes or no? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Check for the question number 1. What should be the series in it? Just put the option and check whether the series is repeated or not. Yes, what is the answer? Anyone?
Sir, I think C.
C. A, B. C, A, B, A, B, B, A. C तो गड़बड़ लग रहा है. फर्स्ट का D है. A, B, B, A, B. उठ करके देख लो सिंपल. भाई A, B के बाद अगर D सही है तो B आएगा. B को छोड़ दो. फिर A आएगा. A, then again A, then B, then A, then B, B, A, and finally will come B. So check whether repeated or not. It's A, B, B. No, it's not repeated again. There is something wrong. A, B, B. Mm-hmm. B, A, B. B, A, B. No. डी तो नहीं होना चाहिए भाई, इसमें डी दे रखा है आंसर, कैसे बनेगा ये? दोबारा देखें। ए बी, बी ए, then B, then A, then B, B, A, B. They are saying it is A, B, B, A, B, means this complete. A, B, B, A, B, A, B, B, A, B. Yes, this is repeated as complete block. Are you getting it? How to check?
Yes, sir.
ये पीडीएफ लगेगा क्या, या है आप लोगों के पास?
यस सर, पीडीएफ
नहीं है सर,
नहीं है
पीडीएफ
सर।
ऐसे
बुक वाली
ड्राइव आया हुआ है।
तब एक साथ बोलोगे तो कैसे पता चलेगा?
सर पीडीएफ नहीं है।
भेज दो।
सर। सर बुक वाली पीडीएफ आप इसमें मैसेज में।
हाँ हाँ, भेज दो। ओ, ये बहुत ज्यादा एमबी का है बट will you be able to download? It's 278.7 MB.
यस सर।
यस सर।
Done. Download.
सर आप डायरेक्ट ड्राइव में अपलोड कर सकते हो क्या?
मैं तो नहीं कर सकता, मैं करा दूंगा, बट मैम को सेंड कर दूंगा, वो कर देंगे।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
यहाँ से
मैम ने
डाउनलोड
पहले ही कर दिया है।
कर दे, नालायक को देख लिया करो उसे, ड्राइव को।
पे आया हुआ है पहले से ही, आप लोग चेक कर लो।
ओके, कल होगा फिर सेशन, कल मिलते हैं। हाँ।